Hey guys, this is the Transforming Gundam, and welcome to the spray painting tutorial. So this is going to be a tutorial for spray paints and how to spray paint your Gunpla. And today I thought I would show you by spray painting some parts for my ARC 78 Skywarp that I've been working on here. So yeah, let's get started. So before we get started painting, some things you're going to need is, first off, a stick with some alligator clips on it, and also some gloves for your hands so you don't get any paint on your hands, which I'm already wearing some gloves. And of course the paint. So over here we got some white primer, and then we got some rich plum gloss, black gloss, purple gloss, and clear gloss. Clear acrylic, top coat actually. So what you do with the alligator clip is really simple. If you don't know, you just get the alligator clip, and then this is for mounting the parts on, so you can paint it easier. And also for drying, because when you paint, you don't want to just hold it and then paint it. That would not be good, because then you're going to have nowhere to put it, so you're going to have to hold it while it dries, because you can't just sit it down. And then when it does dry, this part will still not be painted because you're holding it, so then you're going to have to hold it over here, then paint that part, and then it's just going to be really time consuming. So what you can do with these alligator clips is that you can actually clip it onto the part. As you can see, now it's on and nice and secure, and it's not going to go anywhere. And then you can stick it in styrofoam, and now you can easily paint it. And then you also have somewhere to put your part so it can dry. Now what I have here is a painter's box that I created just using a cardboard box. It's really simple. I made this so I can paint in the garage. And basically all you gotta do is get a cardboard box and just cut this open to have some space. And therefore you can put a part inside, like say if I have this part here. So I can have the part inside the box as I spray paint it, and then the paint will just hit the sides of the box here. So this is actually came in really handy that I made this box. It's really easy to make, and it actually does help make painting a lot easier. So now let's get to the actual painting process. So before you start painting, you gotta make sure to shake this can up nice. And if you hear that little ball, that's basically just mixing up all the paint. So make sure you shake this can nice. Mix all the paint together. And now you are ready to begin painting. So when you paint, you always want to start off first with the primer here. So all you gotta do is get your piece, and then get your paint, and then just spray it. Gonna do a quick burst. Don't want to overdo it. Make sure you cover the whole entire part. And there you go. As you can see, I have just put the first coat of primer on the parts. So as you can see, I just finished priming the first layer, and usually with Krylon it takes between 10 minutes to dry, but it depends with which type of paint you use. But yeah, it says on here it dries less than 10 minutes, so that's for if you're using Krylon paint. So once this dries, we will apply the second layer of primer, and then we'll start actually adding on the color. but as you can see with this first layer, I just barely covered it with the primer. So you can like still see like some of the yellow, since this was the yellow part, but I just barely covered it in the primer. So on the second layer, I will completely cover it, and then after that, we'll start adding in the colors. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for 10 minutes, and then I'll come back and apply the second layer. So after applying the second layer of primer and waiting another 10 minutes, I have finally started to apply the first layer of color, and as you can see, here are the results of it so far. The process is very simple. You just repeat what I showed you with the primer. Just spray quick bursts, side to side movements, wait for it to dry, and then yeah, so here is what it looks like so far. And also another thing I want to talk to you about is actually masking. And if you don't know what masking is, basically that is where you cover part of the piece up with some tape, or they actually make some masking tape. Like for example, on this gun that I was painting earlier, I wanted to paint the barrel of it a different color, so I covered that with some electrical tape, and also the end as well. So I painted this part black, and basically what the tape does is that it covers it, the part that you don't want it to be painted, so that's going to be the original color still. This is going to be black when it's done. And then when I take off the electrical tape, I basically cover up the part that I painted, and then go back and paint the part that was covered. So yeah, it's a pretty simple process. It can be kind of hard depending on what you're trying to mask off. But an example I have is actually on my Gundam. On the knees, I actually had to mask off the purple here. So what I did was I basically covered this part in tape, then I painted all of the black that you see. Then after that I covered the black in tape and went back and painted the purple. So I mean, it's a pretty simple process, and you can get some pretty good results. Like here on the leg, this was actually my first attempt at masking. So I'm pretty proud of how that turned out. And yeah, so this is basically it for spray painting. It's a pretty simple process. There are better ways of painting, like of course there's airbrushing, but this is a quick and easy way to paint your Gundam models. And I mean, these cans are actually pretty cheap. Like this was actually only $6, so I mean they're not too expensive. And yeah, you can find them at most craft stores like this Krylon. They sell it like at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or any other store you can think of. But yeah, I mean, so I'll come back once I actually finish completely painting all these parts here, and then we'll wrap up the video. So yeah, see you when I'm completely done. And well, here we go. Here is the completed wings that I painted. And yeah, so that's about it for this tutorial on how to use spray paints. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned something new. But yeah, so I might as well quickly show off my Gundam now with the painted wings on. But yeah, so that's about it, guys. Now all I have to do left with this guy is to finish painting the rest of his accessories and then getting some decals. But yeah, so stay tuned for this guy whenever he's done, and also stay tuned for my 1/100 high grade Death Scythe unboxing, which I will probably post sometime next week. But yeah, so that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and this is the Transformer Gundam, signing out.